Okay, so I have just left my husband, Brandon, and Angus at the splash pad, and I am on my way to run some errands. I have been waiting on a yarn shipment and it's a little bit delayed, so I had some yarn left over from my previous update that I used to dye up solids for the minis that I'm going to be featuring in the next update, which has been kind of nice, to be honest, because solids are really easy to dye. I don't have to be down in the garage to do that. And so it's allowed me some time to knit and do some other things. And today is the day that yarn is coming. So FedEx is going to be delivering, and this is really bright. I'm gonna try and turn this down so it's not so bright. So FedEx will be delivering the yarn today, and I'm super excited about that. But in the meantime, because it's not here yet, I have other things that I need to get done. And so I am going to the Container Store, which is it's like an organization store that we have here. They sell like boxes and shelving units and hangers and hooks and all sorts of other things to keep your life organized. And I think they might have these little containers that I want to store my leveling agents and my acids in for dyeing yarn. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. And then I'm heading over to Paper Source. It's like 113 degrees outside and I'm walking kind of quickly, and so I'm running out of breath. But anyway, I've got my green tea from Starbucks here keeping me nice and cool. But anyway, I also need to go to Paper Source and get a birthday card because tomorrow is Brandon's birthday. So that's exciting. Ooh, cute. Look at that. Can you see that? How cute is that? Anyway, okay, so I am on my way to the Container Store now, and it is right in front of me. Here it comes. So this is Charming Charlie. That's not where we're going. Right there is the Container Store, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love this place so much. All right, so let's go inside and see if they have what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is what I was looking for here. It's just one of these little guys, and I know I could totally get these someplace else besides Container Store, but we were already here, so I thought I'd come by. These are just super easy for me to scoop out my leveling agents instead of having to use like a ball jar, because those get hard. I can get my hand in there very easily. So this is exactly what I need, and I need 3 of these. And these things are 20 bucks a piece, you guys. There's gotta be a cheaper way to do this. But I really like these. I love OXO Good Grips. What can I say? All right, so I did it. I got my Container Store containers, and I am ready to now find Paper Source and get a birthday card for Brandon. And I need to put my sunglasses on. It is bright out here, and I am such a baby when it comes to that. Alright guys, we're here. Paper Source, one of my favorite places to shop. Let's go see if we can find a birthday card. So we watch a lot of Bob Ross at home, and I just found like the perfect birthday card. Hello, Bob Ross. It says, "The happy trees are happy, it's your birthday. You can never be too happy, especially on your birthday." It's just like a basic birthday card, but it's Bob Ross, and I can write all the sentimental, googly gobbly, you know, icky, lovey stuff on the inside. So I think this is what I'm gonna get for Brandon for his birthday. Okay, so quick tip about Paper Source. They have the most amazing like papers, and I guess these are considered wrapping papers, but you guys, the quality of the paper is so nice. It's thick and heavy, and it doesn't tear very easily. And I've talked about this before when I was decorating the dyeing studio. So let's say you're decorating a dyeing studio or a craft room or whatever. This is definitely a place to come because these are they're a general size, so they're easy to frame with like an inexpensive IKEA frame and put in your room or whatever it is that you're decorating, but definitely a good place to check. So I actually am thinking I'm gonna add to Brandon's birthday gift. I got him a really, really fancy desk chair for his birthday for his classroom because he teaches social studies, and so I got him that. But I think what I'm gonna do is get him a collection of these maps. So there's all kinds of maps here and various different things that are just kind of fun to put in a classroom. And so I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just get a bunch of these papers and roll them into a nice roll and give them to him for his birthday, and we can go shopping for some frames together or something like that. But yeah, if you are ever in need for some easy decor for a craft room, look no further than Paper Source, I'm telling you. And I'm not a paid sponsor, like this is just me in love with Paper Source, but definitely check that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose some of these maps for Brandon for his classroom. Alright you guys, so I'm all done at Paper Source and I'm ready to go back and find my family over at the splash pad and hang out for a little bit before it's time to go home. But I'm loaded down here, so I'm having a really hard time holding the camera. This camera was really designed for lefties because the record button and all of the controls are on the left side, and that makes it kind of hard. It looks like it's focusing just on my mouth. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright guys, so that is it for right now. Next time I see you, I will be in the garage getting ready to dye yarn for the next update. So I'll see you soon. Bye. So we are in the garage now. We are back from our little family outing this morning. I got what I needed at the store. I got Brandon's birthday card and a few really cool posters for him to put up in his classroom, and I am now out here in the garage, and it is so hot. I think outside it's maybe like 112. What time is it? It's 2:15 right now. 112 outside. The cicadas are buzzing like nobody's business, so that means that rain is coming. When you grow up in the desert, you kind of learn like these different things that happen that let you know rain is on the way, and that's definitely one of them, and it's making it muggy as all get out in here. So I am already sweating. I haven't been down here for too long. I've been in and out, so I'm sweating and I'm hot, but I've got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to share some of that work with you guys. Behind me I have 130 skeins of yarn and a few sock planks back there that are going to make up most of the next update that's going to be on July 17th. So I have all of these skeins of yarn that I need to organize into their bins based on what they are, their base. And once I get done doing that, I'm going to get some soaking because I am going to be dyeing some yarn in no time actually. I have to get started right away. So I have a few things I want to show you guys, some updates to the dyeing studio. Share that with you guys today, but otherwise I just want you to come along with me as I get started for the next big update for Fiber for the People. So let's get started. Okay, so when we were at the store earlier, these are the little containers that I picked up at the container store, and I'm really, really excited about these. They are going to make getting out my leveling agents and my citric acid so much easier. They have the little pop tops on them, so it's easy to just access, and it keeps it airtight, which is always good. And I put, each one has a measuring spoon in it that goes along with the measurement that I use when I dye my yarn. So I'm super, super happy about that, and I love the way it looks on the shelf. It's so nice and organized. All right, I need to get stuff on my calendar. As you can see, my calendar is pretty bare and I have lots that I need to add. This is what happens when your yarn shipment is a little bit delayed, and now I've got to like pick up those pieces. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? I did a vlog, I was showing you guys how I was managing my water by going back and forth to the spigot with a bucket, bringing water back, so on and so forth. Since then, I've actually gotten a hose because I know a lot of you guys were wondering why I wasn't using a hose in the first place, and to be honest, it was because I wasn't certain if that was something I could do, because we do live in a, you know, like a condo community here. Turns out it was fine, so I got a hose that could go to the spigot and come back in. Apparently though, when you attach the hose to the spigot on the wall, the resident who is right next to that spigot, because I'm using a nozzle like this that controls the flow of the water, apparently the resident was hearing some kind of a whistling noise that was a problem. They didn't complain, they were very nice about it, but it was, you know, something that I wouldn't want to continue doing if I knew it was bothering them. So there was that. So my husband bought an attachment that screws onto the faucet in the bathroom that we can screw our hose onto, and that works really well. So I can run the hose upstairs and back down into the garage and use the hose that way. However, my mom got home from a trip. She went to Utah to see some family, and she managed to find this. And this thing is amazing, you guys. You fill it up with water. It holds 15 gallons of water. So what I did was I ran the hose upstairs, brought it down, filled up this guy, and I'm using this right now to kind of help fill my pots, to help fill my pans, and it works. I'll show you how it works here. So you fill it up with water in this little spot right here with the hose, and then you take this, which works on a siphon, and so here's the hose that you use to pull the water from. This is the pump, and you have to pump it several times to get the water pressure to activate, I guess, and then it works just like a siphon. In order to keep it from flowing freely, you raise this above the water level, and then when you want to use it after it's been primed, after the pump has been primed, you just bring it down below the water level and you can let it run freely. And right now it is working to fill up my bucket for my soak. So this thing is pretty amazing, and the water pressure is great. I mean, you can see it's coming out pretty good right there. So yeah, I am super excited about this. So if you dye yarn and you live in a small place like an apartment, this could be a really great solution for you. Pretty amazing. So I love this, and it's gonna work great, and it's filling my bucket for my soak super fast. So I couldn't be happier. So that makes my job down here just that much more easy. Shipment of steam table pans, and I'm really excited about it because now I can have some steam table pans waiting in the wings to be dyed, and I don't have to let them cool completely, take the yarn out, and then use them all over again. I have some that I can just use right away as soon as I get done dyeing a single batch of yarn. So I actually have a lid to go with each of my steam table pans, and they just look like this. They fit right on top, just like that. And then one of the colorways that I'm dyeing today, I dye in a pot. That is my Craig Nadoon colorway, so I need to get my pots out for that. I don't have nearly as many pots as I have steam table pans because they are much, much more expensive for the good pots. And when I say the good pots, I don't mean like the good, highest quality, like all-clad pots. That's not what I'm talking about. I just mean the good pots, the right shape, the right depth, all of that, good handles. You kind of have to pay a premium for that, so I do have to get creative with dyeing lots of a particular colorway that I use a pot for. So that's just kind of the nature of that. That will be another investment of mine in the future, is to get many more pots. You can find really great pots at thrift stores. You don't have to buy them new, but I do have a really hard time finding the size that I need, and so the pots that I have purchased, I've purchased on Amazon, and they work out really well for me. So yada yada yada, I'm gonna go ahead and get my pots out. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and prep these with my leveling agents and my acid, and then I will add water to them and they will be ready to go. So I'm really excited to kind of be done for right now, because I'm going to go upstairs, cool down a little bit, rest, maybe go to the pool with the fam. So, alright, let's go ahead and get started. right, let's go ahead and fill these pans up with water. I'm gonna get my measuring cup and I'm gonna use my big blue water container over there and fill these guys up. Hey guys, so we're back out in the dyeing studio right now. It's like 9:05 in the evening and Angus is down. He's in bed right now and I think he's probably sleeping. We went swimming for a long time and he got all worn down and ate all of his dinner, so I knew he was gonna sleep really good tonight. Brandon's upstairs doing some things. He's gonna be helping me wash yarn tonight, but yeah, we have a big dyeing session going on. Well, that we're going to have going on in a few minutes here. I'm getting everything set up, so I just thought I'd have you guys join me for some of the stuff that I'm gonna be doing tonight with my evening dye session. So why don't you join me? Okay, so it makes it really easy when you color code your shower curtain rings because now I know exactly which bases I have right here. I've got my 80/20, my loft base, and my DK base, and it's super simple. Right now in the background you hear little Leon Bridges going on. Loving Leon Bridges. If you haven't listened to him yet, you guys, it's amazing. It's so Sam Cookie and I love it. So definitely check out Leon Bridges. All right, moving on. Last night was a long night of dyeing yarn and it was hot and muggy, and I wanted to record a little bit more but my battery died, and so I just finished off the night dyeing. I think I dyed close to 38 skeins of yarn last night, and I'm happy to have that all done and I'm ready to go and check it out. I have lots of pots behind me. You can see that I've got lots of pots back here and I've got lots of pans back over there. So I need to get this stuff cleaned up. After the aftermath of a dyeing session like that can be quite a lot to kind of clean up and put away, but I try to keep things organized and clean as I go. So all that I really need to do right now is get the yarn out of the pots and pans into buckets and take it upstairs so I can get it washed. And then after I do that, I'm gonna put all of this stuff away here and so I can get it hanging out to dry. Buckets that I use for soaking my yarn, and I got them at IKEA and they're really great. They're these green, and they come in I think different colors, but they're just a basic green bucket, and I think they're called, I don't know, they're number 23081. But they're super cheap. I think one was like $1.50, and so I have a ton of these that I use to soak my yarn. Right now I have all of my punk music made me do it in this white Rubbermaid tub, but this is just, I know this was just there so I used it, but usually, oh, it's heavy. Usually I put them in my green buckets. I take them upstairs and I soak them in the green buckets because they're deep. They're nice because they're not very big, but they're nice and deep, and so you can get quite a few skeins in there soaking pretty easily. So that's what I'm going to end up doing with these, because I take all of my yarn upstairs and I rinse it out and then I soak it in Eucalyptus, and so that's where I do that, is in here. And they stack. I mean, look how nice and easy they are. They stack. You can actually see them behind me over here. There's like little stack green buckets that I use. So that's really convenient. I have all of my burners down here right now because last night it was pretty late, and so I, instead of waiting for them to cool down, I just set them on the floor right there, let them cool on the floor, and we went to bed. I showered and went to bed. Continue getting the rest of my yarn. The next yarn that I need to put in buckets is Craignadoon. So I'm gonna go grab some pots of Craig Nadoon. So the reason why I have this giant stock pot full of Craig Nadoon, especially considering that I do not dye Craig Nadoon in a stock pot like this, I dye Craig Nadoon in a lower, more shallow stock pot and only 2 skeins at a time. What happens is sometimes I need pots that are currently occupied by a recently dyed batch of Craig Nadoon, and so, or any yarn that I dye in a pot. And so what I do so I can use those pots is I'll take and transfer a few pots worth of a colorway into a big stock pot with the water that it was dyed in, because it's always exhausted at that point. I don't have to worry too much about there being any dye left in the water because it fully exhausts. So really the whole purpose of doing this is just so that the yarn can stay in a pot in the hot water and cool to room temperature naturally without being shocked to room temperature quickly by taking it out of the pot and putting it in, you know, the open air. So I mean, and that's not really that big of a problem with superwash yarn, really. It's just more of good practice. And so I transfer it into this pot, and it's a nice hot environment for that yarn to just sit in and cool at a normal pace. And so that's why it's in this giant pot. I don't dye. That would be hilarious if I tried to dye this many skeins of yarn in a giant stock pot like this. So that's why you're seeing me take out 1 million skeins of yarn from one stock pot. Okay, so I have my Lucky Stripe pot ready to go for when I get some skeins of yarn to pop in there. This is it. It's really hard to see what a Lucky Stripe colorway will look like once, you know, until you get your yarn in there. But what I usually like to do is grab a little clear, grab a little clear jar, kind of like this, and it gives me, I gotta stir it though first. It's really important to give it a good stir. There are usually really pretty random speckles in Lucky Strikes because there are particles that create like a freckling in the yarn that never quite fully dissolve, and I think that's part of the beauty of a Lucky Strike. So I'll usually just take something like this, and then that gives me an indication of what that Lucky Strike will look like, and that's kind of just a really pretty gray, a little bit of a tawny kind of look to it. But yeah, there you can kind of see it's got a little bit of brown and gray to it. And it's funny because it looks so unusual when you look at it that way. And when you finally dye yarn with the colorway, it comes out beautiful. I'm looking forward to that. So I think I'm just gonna let this hang out and do that, like I said, and we'll see how it comes out. But you guys, it is so hot and muggy out here, and I'm already sweating, and I just had a shower. So I'm gonna go upstairs, have some breakfast with my family, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we're in the kitchen, and I'm gonna get ready to wash up the yarn. And I thought I would just share with you kind of like the method that I use to wash the yarn. But first I'm gonna turn the TV down just a little bit. Okay. We are watching The Cosby Show a lot right now because you can stream it on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime, and I love The Cosby Show, so that's what's on in the background. And here comes my little man. Hi! So right now I'm just transferring over some of this yarn into another bucket so I can use this bucket to soak. It's kind of a play of musical buckets, really, when you're getting everything sorted out for soaking. So it's time to get solids spun into minis using my Swifts and my husband, who's gonna help me wind these down. But I've got the area set up over here. We wind all of our minis by hand. I don't buy minis yarn in mini form already. I dye full skeins of yarn and then I spin them down into minis that way. And so we have to take from one full skein and spin out the number of minis to make our mini fiber. And the mini fiber that I sell is 80 yards and 20 grams. I'm actually going to be adding a little bit more yardage to the minis that are going to be going in the next shop update, just to make sure, because previously you have just enough to do a heel, cuff, and toe, but I'd like it to be a little bit more than you need, just for that extra insurance. So I'm going to add a little bit more yardage to those, to the mini fiber. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me show you kind of the space that I have set up here for what we're going to be doing in a second. Okay, so we have our Swift set up on this chair, and then we have a Swift set up on this chair, and then we have our meter here, and then here's all of the solids that I'm going to be spinning into minis. So we're going to take from this Swift right here is going to wind through the meter and then over to this Swift over here, and then once it's done there, we will weigh it to double check and make sure that it is the right weight, and that's what we're gonna do. So look at those pretty skeins of solids. I love that. That looks so pretty. And then this purple over here, the colorway name for this color is It's Purple, and I love it so much. So all right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm already super sweaty. It's, I want to say like 107 degrees outside right now. I'm in my garage. It's not so bad, but it gets humid in here with all the water, so I'm gonna hang in there. That's why I have one of these masks today instead of my typical respirator. These are good. These are just as safe at, you know, filtering out particulate matter, but they're a lot less, I don't know, stifling, and I don't sweat as badly in these, so these are great. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna get those skeins in the pot, and then I'm gonna start distributing my yarn across my pans and get started doing some dyeing. So here we go.